Hi everyone, Claudia here from Lighting Clarity. This week's message to Spirit is: what cycle are you moving out of and what cycle are you moving into? So we have to choose from who has the message for you. We have Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Jophiel. I'd like you to pick who it is that has the answer. Bear with me while I connect first with those of you who have chosen Archangel Gabriel. Thank you. So Gabriel's making me feel there is something that you're letting go of that no longer holds your interest, and they're his words. It feels as though there was something you were once interested in and it no longer is something that you're interested in anymore. And that's how he's making me feel. Just bear with me as I go deeper into this. Forgive me if I'm not using the right words. I'm just trying to listen to what he's conveying. So just bear with me. So it makes me feel there's been for some of you a heaviness this year. And he says a lot of you are now starting to come out of that heaviness and step out of that tunnel that you have been on. So that cycle is beginning to end. There's also been a decision you have made about someone or something that you have decided to close the book on, that this has come to an end. I'm no longer going to pour energy into this, or I'm no longer going to entertain this, or I'm no longer going to have this a part of my life. Whatever this is to do with, I feel as though there's something you have decided and you have closed the chapter on. So Gabriel shows me that a lot of you are at the very beginnings of a new cycle. And some of you have come out of the old cycle feeling a little bit, how do I say this, a bit tender. And you're wondering what comes next now is what he says. And that's what this bit of, I don't know if the word is anxiety or anticipation. You're just wondering what good's coming now. What is next going to come in? Okay, so he's making me feel at some point next year, for some of you, there'll be a new relationship. This can be romantic, number one. Number two, it could be a new friendship or someone that you're going to, that's going to hold an answer to something. So it could be someone who's going to liaise with you for business or for your job. There's someone coming in that's going to offer you support. They're the words. They're not going to know they're giving you support, but it's going to make quite a difference to whatever it is you're moving through next year. And you go, great, I have this person there as a resource. So they're showing me this new relationship forming between you and them. So the year coming is going to be very different to the year you've just had, is what Gabriel is showing me. You're going to feel a little bit like a fish out of water in 2025. You're not too sure how the game is played as you move along. You know that there's a new platform that you're stepping onto, or that you're in, or a new arena, whatever words you want to use. And you're not too sure how the game is played here, is what I get. So you will feel a little bit uncertain as you move into this next new cycle. So as you move towards the second half of 2025, you have a big aha moment. And it's like, you know what? I know how to navigate this. I'm actually enjoying this a lot better than what I did last year. It's like you start off with the year going, I'm not really sure about this, whatever it is that comes in. But as you get to the middle of the year and move forward, you decide that actually I do like this better. So whatever this is to do with, I'm not pinpointing exactly, it's going to be different for each of you, but I'm just feeling that coming in. That's that new cycle. And I do see a more, how do I say this, humble you, a more confident you, a you that says, you know what, I'm going to quietly go about my business. I'm going to quietly go about this. And there's more confidence that's underlying there with what it is that you will start to attempt, with what it is that you will start to do. So this could be in the form of, as I've said before, new hobbies, new relationships, new work, whatever this is, new occupations. You're going to go becoming more and more confident in you. It is a new cycle. It's going to take you a little bit to get used to it. And I'm going to be honest about that. And that's what he's making me feel. I'm going to thank Gabriel for coming in. All right. And for those of you who have picked Archangel Uriel, let's bring Uriel in. Uriel says a lot of you have become, I'm just going to give it as he gives it, all right? A lot of you have come back into reality a little bit more. There was a period during the year where you were ungrounded in your ideas, and even ungrounded in some goals, in a way of attaining them, in the way of moving forward. He says a lot of you have come back down and have grounded your feet a lot better on your paths than what you have previously had earlier this year. So he's just making that point that you're moved out of that cycle and you're starting to come back into reality a little bit more. They're the words he uses. He says, I'm aware that some of you had a particular goal or idea, but the person that was meant to back you didn't come to the table, or what was meant to come in to assist you with this particular goal or idea did not occur. So it's just acknowledging that. I'll just, for those of you who are in that boat, hang on. He says this is something that you will re-examine in the new year as to whether or not you're going to pursue this. So they're his words regarding that. Okay. So the new cycle, he says, finally brings in new waters. A lot of you, he says, have needed a change in your lives. And he says, some of you don't think you've needed a change. You all like things to be exactly as they are. Some of you are creatures of habit, he says. But there is a change nevertheless coming for each of you who are listening to this message. He says, this change is needed because some of you need to be woken up. You've sat for too long. You've been too long in the same old, and doing things the same way. He says, this new sea of energy, this new sea of change is coming in. It'll be a little bit cool, but it's going to awaken each of you and it's going to get each of you going where it is you're meant to be. And even those of you who are creatures of habit are actually going to go scratch your chins and go, you know what, this is all right. I don't mind this. I never thought I'd do something like this, but I'm doing it. Whatever that is to do with. Whatever that is to do with. So I'm just going to leave that there. And that's what he says for that. So he makes me feel there's going to be one major surprise in 2025 that's going to come forward for each of you. It's going to be different levels of surprise for each of you. Like it'll be a big surprise or a small surprise, that sort of thing, yeah? But he says, he makes me feel this surprise feels like some sort of reward almost, yeah? And you'll almost view it as that. It's like you're offered something and you go, wow, thank you. And you know it's gold in your hands is what he makes me feel. So for some of you, it'll be on a big scale. Some of you will be on a small scale. But each of you will be thankful and you will take it, he shows me. It will require some self-confidence or self-belief, really, on your parts. But I can see this will be too good an offer and you won't want to let it go. And you'll be like, yeah, I can do it. And you will do it. You will bring it in. You will accept it. He says, stay grounded, stay to your paths, but by all means, he says, look around you and see what else is there for you to experience, for you to learn from, for you to move into. He says there are options that will come in. Some of you have got your eyes down, cast down on the road. We need you to stay with your feet grounded, but continue to look around you a little bit, as well as looking down your path. He says, because there are opportunities or new ways of seeing things, new ways of looking at things around you that you need to take notice of. So I don't feel as though there are some of you who are dragging your feet a bit. You're not going to be allowed to. Your teams are going to push you forwards, he says, and you'll be made to walk a bit more quickly than what you have, is what he shows me. I'm going to thank Uriel for coming in. And for those of you who have chosen Archangel Jophiel, let's bring them in. So Jophiel is making me feel those of you who have chosen her have learnt one valuable lesson this year. So you might know what that valuable lesson is, but she says you've learnt one valuable lesson. In fact, there's been a lesson that was a bit more not as loud. It was quiet, but even though it was a bit of a quiet lesson, there was some sort of internal click within you where you learnt it very quickly and you go, aha, actually, I'm a bit more savvy now. I know what I won't do next time, and I know what I will do next time. So she shows me that as well. She says a lot of you have put yourselves on your new roads, and you're standing at the very, very beginnings of your new roads. A lot of you are wanting to wave bye-bye to the year that was. Some of you got a little bit hurt this year, she's pointing out. She says, I want you to hold your hearts, hold yourselves, she says. The people that perhaps hurt you this year, the people that let you down, the people that didn't step forward in the way that you thought they would, they were coming from their own hurt, their own pain that they were moving through. And it was an old pain they were experiencing from past lives, and they may have been projecting that onto you, she says. Please do not take notice of that, she says. Okay. So the year, she says, will move you gently into and shift you gently into a new scenario, a new scenery. She says some of you may push back from that a little bit and not want to move into that new scenario for whatever reasons. Some of you also have some past life fears coming up. Wow, some past life words being used today. Coming off of an old memory of something. I can see what it is. I'm not going to go into it, all right? Times where you lost your lives in different ways, okay? And that fear was there. And she says it's almost that fear of survival that may come up when something new comes in and you're like, holding your breath for a moment. But she says, nevertheless, you will be okay and you will be moved into a new arena, for this is what is meant to be coming in for you. She says you will be assisted in accepting what is as it moves further towards you as you move into 2025. You will be looked after, she says, very gently moved in. She keeps using those words, so I'm just going to keep going here. So there's going to be some sort of well done. So I feel like there's either a certificate that's going to be awarded to some of you of some sort, or you're going to be applauded at work for a job well done, or someone's going to thank you for a job well done. That's for each of you. And that's in different scenarios because not everybody works. But they're showing me that will be coming in. That'll be a sense of satisfaction, of completion for you. And you will have sensed that you did something very important, is what she shows me. She said it may feel as though as you move into the new cycle that your hands are over your eyes. She said, but you will be guided onto each step. You will be guided onto each step. And she shows me as you're guided onto each step, you'll start to remove your hands from your eyes and you'll start to look around you and you're going to see something of some sort that's going to be of benefit to you. And you're going to say, hey, hang on, just a second. I'm going to go back to that. That's of benefit to me and I'm going to apply for it, or I'm going to try and bring that in. There's just something you're going to see that'll be of benefit to, like a loophole that's of benefit to you, whether this is to do with your taxes, or whether this is to do with a job opportunity, or whether this is to do with another type of opportunity that will be offered. I see that you will actually move in and grab that benefit and say, right, I'm going to use this. It is a year where your confidence will build slowly, but come the end of the year, there's a very wise you standing there. And as you stand there in your robes of graduation, if you like, is what I see. It's like you've graduated and you've looked around, you're feeling that wisdom within yourself. And it's that quiet inner confidence that nothing really knocks you anymore. You're like, no, you know what? I'm not going to allow things to knock me. And it's like you've come into your own growth. So I'm seeing the heart center strengthening and I'm seeing the higher self merged with you more and more. And that's given you that confidence. I'm also seeing one member on your holy team stepping forward to assist. I feel like it's an archangel, and you will be listening. You will hear them, and their encouragement allows you to move forward into more endeavors that you didn't know you would do. So I'm seeing you moving into 2026, 2027. 2027 is going to be a year of massive accomplishment. That's a few years ahead. Massive accomplishment is what they're showing me. It's like you've been given some sort of how do I say this? Some sort of tool, some sort of understanding, something. And in 2027, I should say, you're living the dream, more or less, in terms of career, in terms of lifestyle. I mean, I'm not saying on a massive capacity, but enough where you feel contented and satisfied and where you know you can keep going up and up, yeah? There will be hills to climb. There will be mountains to climb. And that will be there till the day we pass. And that includes all of us, regardless. There's the light and there's the darkness. The darkness is the growth. The light is the reward. The light is the growth as well. There's all of that. All right. I'm going to thank Jophiel for coming in. Okay. Well, many blessings. Many blessings. I'll connect with all of you again one day soon. Thanks, everybody. Happy weekend.